pushing, you're doing it. You're good.
So we're gonna work together to get this baby out.
Okay, let's go.
Right.
Right there, push against that pressure, keep pushing. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay, wait a second.
Breathe, 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 breathe.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. A little easy push. Easy push.
That's coming, you're almost done. That's how good you are. That's it.
So
Almost.
a little bit more. There you go. Got it. There you are. Okay, good enough. Get it out. Right. We'll get that in there.
Stuck in the nose and I thought they were going to deliver the body.
Isis got lots of hair. You're crazy. Yeah. My kids were bald when they came out. That's nice. He's perfect.
Okay, big breath. One more good push. You're going to have this baby.
Now, easy push now.
Just kind of let out. Good.
A little harder push. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. All right.
Little peanut again. Oh, here, Mama, let's hold this baby. He is tiny.
It's probably beneficial, especially in preterm babies, and preterm babies are still something.
Look at that peanut.
Sorry,
Long though, I think you're right. Look at those long, skinny legs. He is great, don't you? He's pink and crying. That means
Perfect. You're still connected because we'd like to get that blood from the placenta into the baby. They say that that's beneficial. We'll get you disconnected in a minute. Dad, you want to cut the cord? Okay.
I want him to cry.
So definitely, in the future, mention you absolutely don't want to as soon as things are stable and the baby's flying. Although in the middle of the C-section, it's hard to say there's some
Oh, it's so bright.
So in these situations.
He is little.
Am I hemorrhaging like last time or anything?
Not doing that. We
You are
talked about,
perfect.
remember?
Like I said, this is a perfect delivery. That,
You cut right in between those.
right between the two. Perfect. Take those scissors. Great job.
Alright, we're gonna put a dry blanket on him. Or do you want to put it on here?
Yeah,
See?
for what?
You just sometimes forget. He doesn't look very big.
Yeah.
Definitely smaller than Bella, right?
Hi everybody, so the video that you just watched was a clip from my labor and delivery video. Unfortunately, for privacy reasons, I do not want to add the whole video because there was certain parts in the video that I feel are kind of private, and also just certain areas of my body I did not want to share on YouTube. So I hope you guys understand, but I will be adding some pictures from the labor also in this video, so I hope you guys enjoy. But I want to share with you guys how we led up to going to the hospital, how my labor was, and delivery and everything like that. So to start off, it started on the 19th of July, and I was having some cramping around 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't pay any mind to it though because I didn't think I was actually going into labor. I thought it was just, you know, regular cramps. So they ended up just going away, and I remember it was raining and my mother-in-law sent me a text message telling me that we were not going to go to church that day because it was raining pretty hard for me to go out with the baby and stuff like that. So I ended up just meeting her at her house, and it ended up being a beautiful day. But anyway, so I went to her house and I was still having some cramping, but it was more like Braxton Hicks. And it wasn't anything like 5 minutes apart or 10 minutes apart. Like one would come here, then later on it would be another one, and some would be painful and some would not be painful. So I didn't pay much mind to it. I just thought it was just like any other cramping day. But every time I went to the bathroom, I started noticing that I had some pink tinge in my tissue paper, and it was happening every single time I was going to the bathroom. So I was also urinating a lot that day, and my mother-in-law kept on telling me, like, I think today's the day, I think today's the day, and I just didn't want to believe it. I was like, no, because for the past 3 days I've been having some cramping, and it felt like contractions, but then I would go to the bathroom for number 2, and it ended up being like nothing because it would go away. And that's what I thought it was. I thought it was just like constipation pains or something like that, which I ended up going to the bathroom for number 2, and I was like, okay, well, at least if this is a real thing, it will not go away even if I use the bathroom. And I tried drinking lots of water because I thought maybe I was dehydrated. I tried changing positions when I was laying down, but nothing seemed to change the pain that I was in. And like I said, it was nothing consistent. It wasn't like 5 minutes apart. It wasn't like 10 minutes apart. It was just happening like on and off, on and off. So I was getting a little concerned though, because I was having lots of Braxton Hicks, and they say that, you know, if you have more than a few in an hour, you should definitely consult your doctor. So obviously it was I believe a Sunday, so the doctor's was obviously closed. So I decided to call the nurse hotline, and I told her what was going on. So because I was having so many contractions, she said, you know, you should definitely come in. When should we expect you? Now, the hospital is like an hour away, so I didn't actually want to go unless I knew I was actually into labor. So I just told her, okay, I'll be there in like an hour or so. But my mother-in-law wanted me to go to the hospital, but I was trying to hold it off, and I told her, no, I'm going to hold it off, And I really wanted to eat the barbecue food because we ended up having a barbecue. So that's exactly what we did. I just ate some hot dogs, some steak. I was just, you know, enjoying the food because I knew that if this was actual labor, once I got to the hospital, there was no more eating. So I definitely wanted to make sure my belly was full. So we had the barbecue. Everything went well, but I was still having some cramping. So I told my mother-in-law I was going to come home, take a shower, and maybe go to the hospital after that. But yeah, me and my fiance came home because Isabella stayed with the grandma just in case I did go into labor. And me and Arturo started watching Intervention. It was so funny because it was actually about someone that lives in our state or whatnot. So I thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, so we're watching Intervention, and I was eating pineapple, and I was just craving that freshness of the pineapple. So I was just enjoying that. And I was having some cramping, you know, and I was timing them, but they were coming like every 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. That's how, you know, frequent they were coming. At least that's what I thought. And Arturo was like, can you just go take a shower, you know, so we can go? And I was like, no, I have to make sure the house is clean because just in case this is it, I don't want to come home and then have the house a mess. So I started cleaning. And then he was like, you still didn't go take a shower? And I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to take a shower. So I went to go take a shower, and after I got out, I feel like the pains just went away, and I was like, oh, see, I knew it. I think it was false labor, and I was just so upset because I thought that, you know, it was a real thing. So I just sat here exactly where I'm sitting now, and I was just sitting here mad quiet, and he's like, why are you so quiet? And I was like, oh, because I haven't had a contraction, but I'm actually having one right now. So he was like, okay, good, let's go. So while we were on our way to the actual hospital, I felt like, I don't know, like I was doing something wrong, like I shouldn't go to the hospital because I didn't think I was actually in labor. So I was telling him, like, babe, I don't think we should go. You know, what if they send us back? And I felt really guilty. He was like, babe, it's okay. You know, like if they send us back, they send us back, but at least we'll know what's going on. And it's true because I was having a lot of Braxton Hicks that I had pain and like a whole bunch of things. So even though if it wasn't labor, at least they'll be able to tell me what was going on because I had drank water, I wasn't dehydrated, I tried resting, I tried changing positions when I was laying down, and nothing was helping. So he made me feel better, and I was like, okay, fine, let's go. So mind you, my pain started at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was now 8 o'clock at night when we were on our way to the hospital. So there we were. We ended up going to the gas station, getting some candy. And I'm so sorry. If you can please excuse me, my daughter's trying to get into the cabinet. Here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we ended up going to the gas station and we got some candy and we were just eating some chocolates and, you know, just on our way to the hospital like normal people, right? So once we got there, it was already like 9 o'clock at night and they took us into triage where I got my gown on. I went to the bathroom and then they put the monitors on my belly and, you know, they were just checking to make sure that, you know, everything was okay with the heart rate and also how my contractions were doing, if I was actually having contractions. And the nurse checked me and the nurse was really sweet. Her name was Molly. So she went ahead and she checked me. She said I was about 2 to 3 centimeters and she was going to keep me for 2 hours and to see if anything was changing, if the contractions were strong enough to actually make my cervix dilate. And she also told me that my contractions were coming every 5 minutes. So it wasn't every 10, it was every 5. So I guess, I don't know what I was doing, but I was counting them wrong. So that's what we did. We ended up, like I said, going, just sitting there actually and waiting for those 2 hours. Now I remember we were watching the Travel Channel. We were just watching like crazy like water parks and stuff like that. And just waiting for the time to go by. And I was like feeling discouraged because I felt like my contractions were slowing down. And I was telling Arturo, like, I think that they're going to send us home. He's like, no, they're not. Don't worry. They're not going to send us home. And I was like, all right, fine. So she came back to check me again. And she said I was about 3 centimeters now, going to a 4. So she was like, I'm going to go ahead and talk to the doctor and see what he wants to do. And I was like, okay. So while she was gone for like another hour. And I swear my contractions got like, they were further apart in my belief, but they were more painful this time around and they lasted a little longer. And what I mean by painful was like my stomach turned into like really hard, like it was contracting. But it felt like a Braxton Hicks, except like I was having really bad period cramping feeling on the bottom of my stomach. It felt like a tightness that just wrapped around like the front of my stomach. That's what it felt like. And it was happening like that. And I remember going back like this and I was like, I'm like, wow, that one hurt, you know? And Arturo was like, oh God, you know, like, are you serious? And I was like, no, yeah, they really hurt. So yeah, after a little while, she came back and she was like, you know, the doctor decided to admit you, so we're going to go ahead and get you into your room. And I was like, wow, like, I felt so good. I was like, finally, you know, like, I'm going to see my baby boy. So we went to our room, which was absolutely gorgeous. Like, that hospital room was amazing. And it is the type of rooms that have, like, labor and delivery just in one room. So it's pretty spacious. And they had everything so neat, so clean. Like, I have nothing bad to say about the hospital whatsoever. The only thing that took long was discharge, but other than that, like, the hospital was literally amazing. So as we got into the room, she gave me a birthing ball because that's something that I had on my birth plan that I wanted to do. So I was on the birthing ball, and it really helped with my back pain because when I was having the contractions, I felt like a lot, like, you know, a little bit of pressure. And she ended up putting like these hot pads like on my my back, so that felt really good. So, you know, I was just swinging back and forth and just trying to go through the contractions. And then we went onto the bed for a little bit because she had to put my IV in, because just in case I wanted to get the epidural, they want to go ahead and have the IVs in, you know. It's just what they need to do and take out some blood work just to check how your vitals are doing and your blood count and all that nice stuff. So that's what happened. And she checked me and I was about 4 centimeters dilated at that time. So then the doctor came in after a little while, and he was telling me that he was going to go ahead and break my waters to see if I can go ahead and start progressing. That doctor actually ended up leaving at the time that I had Isaac, and I had a different doctor, which he was spectacular. So I felt like this doctor was just trying to rush things because he wanted to get it over with before he had left. But Isaac had other plans. But yeah, he broke my water, which did not hurt at all. The only thing I felt was warmness coming out, and it was just coming out and coming out and coming out. And since I feel everything, like, it's funny because it would just come out, and then after a while it changed positions and more would come out, and then more. It was just like I was leaking just like hot fluid. That's what it felt like. But yeah, the fluid was clear, no meconium, nothing like that, so we were good to go. So then the doctor came back, I believe like an hour later, and he asked the nurse, you know, how she's doing, and she was like, oh, she's at a 5. And he was like, all right, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and give her some Pitocin, just to see, you know, if it can help her dilate a little faster. So the nurse was kind of concerned. She was like, why does he want to rush your labor so bad, you know? But I guess because he was leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning, he just wanted to get it over with. But like I said, Isaac had other plans. So we did get the Pitocin in, and I had 2 dosages of Pitocin. And when they started the Pitocin, it was around, I want to say 6 in the morning. So at 7 o'clock in the morning, they decided to go ahead and check me. And I was already 7 centimeters dilated from 5. So I progressed really quickly. And the nurse was nice enough to let me have like Jello and popsicles, so I was trying to stay cool. And I ended up telling her that I wanted to get the epidural, and she was like, you know, if that's what you want to do, we'll go ahead and call the anesthesiologist, and she'll come here and get that done for you. So that's exactly what happened. I had the anesthesiologist come in, and she was really sweet. And Arturo was able to be there for me too as well, to watch the process and stuff like that. So the first take of the epidural didn't actually work because it had went inside of a vein. So they had to restart the whole process, which obviously I was freaking out. I thought I was like literally dying because my heart was racing. It was like 150 or higher, and Arturo was like staring at me. He's like trying to look at me to get me to relax, and I was holding the nurse's hand. I was just freaking out because I feel like when they start asking you questions like, do you hear ringing in your ears? Does your mouth taste like a penny? You know, shit like that. Excuse my language. I feel like you start thinking like, oh my god, is that happening, you know? And then you make your body start hearing those things and stuff like that. So I was just freaking out, you know, and then my heart was racing, and I was trying to breathe through it, and she's like, are you okay? And then I don't know what happened, but they realized that it had hit a vein, so they decided to redo the process. So that's exactly what happened. We went ahead and we did the epidural all over again. And this time it worked, so she had me laying down, and they would actually have me switch positions a lot, like from one side to the other, because if you just lay down on your back after you get an epidural, it's like the epidural only stays on your legs, like it only stays in one part, you know, so they want you to move around so it kind of gets everywhere, like to the side, to the other side, you know what I'm saying? So you're not just like feeling numb on one specific part of your body. So they had me doing that a few times, and I just lay there for like another hour, which was 8 o'clock in the morning by the time that the nurse decided to check me again. And when she did, I was already 10 centimeters dilated. And I was super excited because Arturo had called it. He was like, he's going to be born at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, really? You think so? You know, like, okay. So after that, the nurse called the doctor, and the doctor was actually in a C-section. So we had to wait until the doctor came out of the C-section to start pushing, because I was definitely ready to push. And she would tell me, like, are you feeling pressure down there? Because his head is, like, right there. And I'd be like, no. And I was like, I can't feel anything. And I was like, oh, my God, is his head sticking out? Like, you know, I was thinking that, like, with every contraction, you know, it's probably pushing him out, and I didn't even know. But she's like, no, don't worry. His head is up there. So she decided to go ahead and just have me push a little bit, just to see kind of like how I'm pushing and where I'm at. And as soon as I started pushing, she was like, wow, you're doing great, you know, his head is right there, he has lots of hair. And I was like, oh my god, this feels amazing, like he's gonna be here real soon. So then at that time, they actually had put like this catheter looking thing inside my uterus to check for how strong my contractions were, because they weren't picking up on the screen. So they had that inside of me. Meanwhile, they were waiting for like the doctors to come and stuff like that. And with the epidural, they actually don't do the catheter where they don't need to change anything, that you just pee on your own. They actually take like use the catheter, put it inside of you, release all the urine, and then they take it out right away. It reduces the risk of acute CI. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, then the doctor came in, and as soon as he told me to start pushing, his head just came out. It was like, the doctor was like, wait, you know, and you'll see that on the vlog. He's like, just give it a second, you know, like one little small push, because his head was literally there, and he was so small. And as soon as he came out, he was born at, I think it was 8:17 in the morning. It was amazing. Like, I couldn't stop staring at him. I thought he looked just like Bella. And I was like, oh my god, babe, he's so small and he looks just like Bella. And I was feeling so overwhelmed. And I just had an amazing labor and delivery. I did not tear, I did not stitch, I didn't hemorrhage, nothing. Like, I feel 100% fine. Like, I am so content with the way that my labor went. I couldn't have had it any other way. Like, honestly, it was perfect, and I'm so blessed. I sure got to cut the cord. I had to like cord clamping too, so I was pretty excited about that. It was like my whole birth plan just came to use, so I was pretty excited about that, and I was just so blessed. Like, you have no idea. But yeah, that's how my labor and delivery went. He was 5 pounds and 6 ounces, and he was 18.5 inches long. So he was a little tiny little peanut. That's what we call him, our little peanut. But seriously, we were in love. Like, Isaac Alexander, that's his name, and Isabella is such a wonderful big sister. And of course, like, it was such a perfect delivery. Like, it was so fast. Like, I think by 9 o'clock in the morning we were already eating our breakfast. We had our visitors come. I was standing up, going to the bathroom, and it was just, it was amazing. He breastfed right away, and I have no latching issues. He does not need a nipple shield. He does not, need anything extra to help him. He latches perfectly. So we've been exclusively breastfeeding for almost 2 weeks now. He'll be 2 weeks on Monday, and it's going so well. Like, I'm really happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed my birthing vlog video, and I believe that he's still sleeping, but as soon as he wakes up, I'll try to go ahead and put a clip of him so you guys can see what he looks like right now. And I'll definitely be doing updates on little Isaac, maybe monthly updates, I'm not too sure. But I'll definitely be putting updates about him on my channel. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I want to say thank you so much for my subscribers and for everybody that's been watching my pregnancy vlogs. And I'll go ahead and show you my postpartum belly, and yeah, so this is my belly with the shirt on. I know, it feels so weird, right? Because I don't have a belly anymore. Pretty much this right here is just like hair, like, it's weird. I know, but hopefully it falls off because I think that's so disgusting. But yeah, this is my belly from the front. This is my belly from the side. And my belly from the other side. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to make another video for you guys. Bye! Bye! Oh. What's wrong, buddy? You're hungry? You're hungry? He's hungry. But there you go, guys. Here's my little peanut. And he's so adorable, and I just can't get enough of him. But he's so hungry right now. But here he is. He's finally here, and this is him.